A former prison superintendent calls for greater investment in the reform of sex offenders. Prime Minister Skerrit shares with regional leaders how they could take advantage of the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union, and a $1.4 million EC dollar facility to be opened this month to care for Dominica's disabled children. I'm Idona John Baptist, and this is the Channel 5 News. Details coming up. First up, a lack of rehabilitation programs for sexual offenders at the Dominica State Prison has come under scrutiny. Former prison superintendent Algernon Charter says there is need for a proper rehabilitation system for sexual offenders. However, it's not just that simple. More resources, according to Charter, will have to be invested in the prison service for that to happen. Charter spoke to Channel 5 News just before his presentation at a victim support training at the Public Service Union building on Wednesday. His lecture focused on what existed in the state prison for those convicted of sex crimes while he was overseeing the institution.
There's none, but prison staff need to be commended because they do whatever they can to help these individuals.
So there's no particular rehabilitation program for them?
Except they send them to do training in agriculture or any of those courses. They send them, train them in that. But then what I am looking at is the mind change, that mind frame, change it.
It's been 5 years since he has retired from the post after having served as the head of prison for over 30 years. Charter, whom in 2007 received a Long Service Medal as part of Independence Day National Service Awards, is calling for greater reform of sex offenders.
Yes, I think there should be some reform for them. We should have some counselors, psychologists in prison working with those people, because I think it's just a change of the mindset, and solely because I can give an example of one particular guy who couldn't differentiate an adult to a child. Okay? And as far as he's concerned, a child 5 years old, that was okay with him. Look at an adult woman, that's okay with him too. But if he is more attracted to the child, it's better, and again too, it was cheaper for him.
Other lead stories: those trained in helping victims of child sexual abuse have turned the spotlight on the possibility of an interagency collaboration in the investigative process of sexual offenses. The victim support trainees heard from a panel of experts with several years' experience in law enforcement, among them retired Superintendent of Police Yvonne Alexander. 15 out of Alexander's 40-year police career was spent in the Criminal Investigation Department, which she headed for some 3 years.
When you have a victim who is a minor who is the victim of sexual abuse, a report may be made to the police and the person has to explain to the police what happened. An investigator is assigned and the investigator interviews that victim. The child welfare services or child protection services is brought in, and the individual or that child victim is also questioned by child services. And you have this minor who will obviously be very traumatized by the incident that has occurred and is being investigated. Being asked to repeat their question, their story or their report on more than one occasion to various individuals who may be involved in the investigation.
Alexander says the idea is to explore the way forward on how the relevant agencies can minimize the trauma experienced by sex abuse victims.
Can we have victims tell their stories to one individual, and through either a recorded interview or the other individuals sitting in on the interview, they obtain the necessary information that is required for them to assist. So if the interview is being conducted by the police, Child Protection Services is present and will elicit all the information that they require to determine how to assist that child. rather than the child continuously having to repeat the stories.
Alexander's most recent post was as Assistant Commissioner of Police and Director of Training at the Barbados-based Regional Security System. The chairman of CARICOM has made his position clear on Britain's exit from the European Union and how he believes CARICOM should respond. Julian Morris reports.
Prime Minister Skerrit told fellow heads of government in Guyana on Monday the circumstances in the EU are very different from that of CARICOM. Mr. Skerrit says Britain feared losing its sovereignty, and the average UK voter saw EU membership opening the door to immigrants from conflict areas having access to automatic welfare. But he says CARICOM, on the other hand, is different in that it's really the fulfillment of a long-standing dream of the region's people.
We now have representative governments with the mandate to build nations in our own image and strive to realize the people's vision of peace, freedom, tolerance, equal opportunities, prosperity, and more equitable distribution of the wealth we all help to create.
The Prime Minister says CARICOM is a community which is built on caring for each other, as demonstrated last August after Tropical Storm Erika. He says while there are downsides, the UK's exit from the EU also presents certain opportunities which CARICOM should be ready to take advantage of.
Some of us may be ambivalent and hesitant about a closer relationship with CARICOM, but let us not resolve to blindly imitate what happened in Britain a few days ago. Let us instead work together to strengthen our cooperation and collaboration to create a stronger, more vibrant community. Let us properly analyze and position ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities that will arise from this. It may be that Britain's exit from the EU will lead to renewed cooperation on better terms with the Commonwealth and bring greater benefits to all as we seek to a safe and viable space in a global marketplace.
Another Dominican young woman makes history as she joins the ranks of those who have met the Queen and received one of her awards. Tina Alfred is now the second Dominican to obtain the Queen's Young Leaders Award. She was among 53 young people across the Commonwealth to be formally recognized at the Buckingham Palace in London on June 23 for work in their communities. The work which has brought Tina to this point is as coordinator of Lifeline Ministries Victim Support Program. She spent 1 week in the United Kingdom for the Queen's Young Leaders Program.
Well, it was a very amazing experience, a fantastic privilege to be awarded from Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth. It has motivated me and inspired me to continue to do the work that we do, and it's a lifetime experience getting the opportunity to actually network and connect with 54 Commonwealth members who was representing their countries. Well, we had many meetings with business firms, including a masterclass session with the BBC News. We also had sessions with Twitter.
She not only got the opportunity to shake Her Majesty's hands and say a few words to her, but the awardees were addressed by Prince Harry.
You've already been an inspiration to so many, but I hope this award will inspire you to go out and achieve even greater things in the future.
On her trip, Alfred also met Dominican Baroness Patricia Scotland, the Commonwealth Secretary General. Last year, Queen Elizabeth hosted the first winners of the Young Leaders Program. CEO of the Sickle Cell Cares Foundation, Kellen George of Maho, was the first local recipient of that award. This is Channel 5 News. Coming up, mixed reaction from the Ministry of Education on the status of literacy levels among Dominica's youth. Stay with us. Welcome back. A facility which caters for children with disabilities is expected to begin operations near the middle of this month.
The Respite Centre in Chance, Portsmouth, will accommodate disabled children from around the island. President of PASIS, that is Parents Advocating for the Inclusion of Children with Disabilities, says this Respite Centre is the first of its kind in Dominica.
You have two kinds of respite center. You have the residential, where persons stay there 24 hours a day, but this one is going to be like a daycare center where the parents will bring in the children with disabilities from about 8:30 in the morning till about 4. They will get, 2 hot meals. They will get the opportunity to see physiotherapists, speech therapists, and, the medical sort of thing. We even, in terms of occupational therapy, we even have sewing machines where they'll be, taught to do sewing and some basic things, maybe make cloth dolls and so on, so that, they can get a little income.
The center was initially scheduled to open in January this year, but had experienced some setbacks. Irish says he would like to see the public support the initiative in the same way that government has.
In fact, we made a request for $250,000 a year because, as you know, it's a non-profit organization. But because of the strain and the stress of the economy since the ERICA, the government have decided, okay, they cannot give us 250, but they'll give us about 150. The government promised to give us a vehicle because we have to pick up the children from Marigot, Kalibishi, Capuchin, from St. Joseph coming down into Roseau. We hope the parents can come in and give us some cash and kind, because it's, we're just going to charge a small fee, maybe about $50 a month for each child, because they'll be getting 2 hot meals, and care and protection and all that sort of thing. And parents who have provision, gardens and so on, they can bring vegetable, fruits and so on to really help to sustain the facility.
Irish says a child fund survey carried out in 2006 found that there was an estimated 400 disabled children in the country, the majority being in the northern areas. One of PASSIS's long-term plans is to construct another respite center in the country.
The facility should be opened on the 15th of July, where some 15 children who have registered so far will be coming in for that at that facility. We have Mistress Deborah LeBlanc John. She has a degree in psychology, and she is the one that's going to be the first coordinator manager of the facility, with some other 8 staff members, including a driver, cook, cleaner, and so on, caregivers. So Mrs. John has a wealth of knowledge and experience. Down the line, we intend to address the situation, let's say, more centrally, in the sense of having one around Roseau and some here around the West Coast in the future.
The Respite Centre in Chance was funded to the tune of approximately $1,043,000 EC.
In more news, the Ministry of Education is noting improvements in the literacy levels of the country's youth. However, officials acknowledge that more work needs to be done.
The disclosure was made by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education when she addressed a competition to assess the reading skills of school children around the country. The PS says the ministry is focused on testing literacy levels at an early age in order to ensure the development of a literate society.
Admittedly, we have realized significant gains in students' literacy development over the years, but must continue to work to achieve even higher levels. We recognize that in order to achieve this, we must be proactive and address the challenges at the early primary grades. One way we are doing this is through the curriculum-based measurement, CBM, which is used to assess literacy levels of our students at the grade K, grades 1 and 2 levels.
Director of Telecommunications says government remains committed to ensuring the educational development of the people.
Government continues to ensure that students avail themselves to further knowledge by the recently opened Center of Excellence at the Dominica State College, in which another avenue has been opened where students can enhance their knowledge in computer-related fields for the betterment of themselves, their families, country, and the world.
The 9th DBS Radio Ministry of Education court-sponsored reading competition was won by Shaden Laville of the Convent Preparatory School. Laville and her school will each receive $2,000 among other prizes.
I feel very surprised and very happy. No TV, no phone, no iPad, no nothing until I finish reading for at least an hour or more.
Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to do now that you won?
Keep practicing for the OACS.
I am so proud of this young girl. She's worked hard over the past several weeks for this competition. She wanted it badly. So I'm really happy that she came out on top today. It was a tough competition, but very good.
Second place went to Tiana Smith of the W.S. Stevens Primary School, while Samuel Meyer, representing the Lighthouse Christian Academy, came in third. Tyrick Jajak of the St. Luke's Primary placed fourth, and Berger Bertrand of the Ebenezer SDA Primary was fifth. The other participating pupils were Ricia Alexander of the Concord Primary School, Kiera Lewis, Atkinson Primary, Mindy LeBlanc, St. John's Primary, Micah Smith, Goodwill Primary School, and Leanna Lawson, representing the Sansevere Primary School.
Dominica could stand to benefit from the expansion of an environmentally friendly paper company in Barbados. Octopus 3 specializes in producing recycled paper made from banana fiber. The company also promotes hurricane preparedness awareness and helps develop action plans for natural disasters.
We make environmentally friendly paper. The paper is made from shredded office paper or waste paper, broken back down, used in a normal blender, and we add, we would say, about 5% of banana tree waste. Now the waste is when the banana tree is bared, you take away the fruit, the bottom half of the tree that is pushed over that you would use to feed the new trees is the part of the tree that we use. We blend that, add that to the paper, we then remake what would be then a piece of recycled paper, which is then used in a domestic way. You can put it in a printer.
There are plans to source banana waste from Dominica.
Dominica has more banana trees than any other in the Caribbean, and Dominica was always a first choice for lots of reasons. Firstly, the running water was very, very important, the infrastructure, the product, and also finding that the Dominicans were always at the forefront of this project. It was designed to have a mechanized version for this country specifically, and that is still ongoing.
And musical director of a prominent choral group in Dominica is confident that the future of cultural arts and music is in good hands. Andrea Louis has more.
This, as the Sixth Form Sisterhood Singers is getting ready to put on its annual choral production dubbed Footprints. Music director Pearl Christian says the influx and interest of young people in the group will help to ensure the continuity of this art form in Dominica.
You think of succession because you have to move with the times. You have to bring in young blood, and you also have to sometimes just step aside so that, because I mean we all march into the same drum beat, and nobody's on a treadmill. We're sort of moving on. You can't sort of stay in the past. It's new things, it's new interests. Like I said, the show choir is very big now. They're into show choir stuff. So yes, it needs like new blood, and yeah, I am here sort of helping them to sort of just keep moving.
This year, Alwyn Bully will be recognized by the group for his work in theater and music in theater. Christian promises that this show will be one with a difference.
We have it in 4 sections. It's going to be spiritual footprints in terms of things that speak to the spirit of man. And then we have popular footprints, then we have Afro-Caribbean footprints, 3 numbers in there. And the interesting thing about that section is that the 3 songs were all arranged by 3 of the members of the group. Mary Pascal Afano, there's Golda Scotland, Andrew, and Amanda Lawrence. And the final section is the traditional footprints, and we begged Alwyn to write a musical for us. So it's a short musical that he wrote just for this production. This show is going to be different from others, and I think as entertaining, maybe hopefully more entertaining.
The production Footprints will be staged at the Arak House of Culture on Friday and Saturday night, and at the Portsmouth Catholic Church Hall on Sunday night.
That's news. Coming up, your sports highlights with Kenny Williams.
First up, in cricket news, 4 Dominicans will get a chance to make their country proud at the 2016 Regional Under-19 competition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines later this month. Alec Athanas, Dion Burton, Kasim Peltier and Lee Louisi form part of an 18-man squad, including 4 reserves. The players are scheduled to take part in a training camp later this July. The competition runs from July 14 to August 23. On the football scene, Dominica State College captured the 2016 Dominica Football Association's Secondary Schools Girls Football title by knocking out Dominica Grammar School in the finals. DSC scored 2 goals against DGS. Grammar School scored 1. Still in sports, well, preparations will be intensified on Friday when the Dominican Inter-School Squad takes part in a mini-meet ahead of the Windward Island Schools games later this month. In June, the sports division began training with the athletes for the various sporting events they will participate in. Athletes will be looking to book spots on the team to compete in the 100, 400, 1,500 meters, as well as javelin, shot put, long jump, high jump, and 4x100 meters relay. The 2016 Inter-School Games are scheduled to run from July 23 to 30 in Grenada. Meantime, national sprint athlete Luan Gabriel says her training at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore has been beneficial in her development. Gabriel is currently on summer vacation.
The training in the University of Maryland Eastern Shore is quite different as compared to the training here in Dominica, and I must say it's challenging, but I'm coping with it. It has helped me to become stronger, I must say that's the word, because when I was here in Dominica, I still mostly do the 100 meters and 200 meters, but I've come to do the 400 now, and this requires a lot of strength, so I'm more based in the 200 and 400 meters now.
Meantime, Gabriel says the sponsorship from Big Edge Financial Express has also helped in her advancement.
It's been a very great help to me, Big Edge Financial Express. Mr. Dokchev has been my manager for approximately 5 years, since 2012, and it has been a great help to me in terms of my health, because as an athlete you need to be healthy in order to perform well, and it's been a very, very good support.
And while on summer break from school, Gabriel continues to train.
For the month of June, I was doing some active rest, and July I'm going to start like some serious training in terms of like heel training, beach training, and so on.
Meantime, Dominica went down to Bahamas 125-21 on Wednesday. The top scorer for Dominica was Jamie John Rose with 6 points. Finally, in sports, Rosalie Bay Charlotte Villas and Club Loubier will go head-to-head at Newtown at 7 in the Fast Cash Harlem Football League, and Sun Pirates will take on the party team at 6 in the TTW Beach Football Tournament. Both matches are scheduled for Friday. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
Scattered showers to continue on into Friday and Saturday. Farah Rock Correa has our weather report.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your weather. I'll be your presenter for this evening with Farah Rock Correa. Today, beautiful sunny skies across Dominica and relatively warm temperatures. Maximum temperatures picked up to 34 degrees Celsius at Canefield Station today. Let's move on now to some earlier infrared satellite imagery. Today, a high pressure system was a dominant feature for the northern Windward and Leeward Islands, resulting in generally fair to partly cloudy skies. However, a low to mid-level trough dominated weather conditions across the southern Windward, resulting in occasional cloudy skies. We move on now to some earlier visible satellite imagery, and what is shown is just a few low-level clouds across Dominica. Earlier radar imagery of this afternoon indicated no echoes over Dominica and the Leeward Islands, indicating no shower activity. Meanwhile, it indicated some scattered shower activities to the southern windwards and also Barbados, and that is associated with the low to mid-level trough which I mentioned earlier. The weather tonight is expected to be fair to partly cloudy with brief showers. However, tomorrow will be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers. The marine conditions tomorrow will be moderate and waves will peak up to 7 feet. However, small craft operators and bathers are still asked to exercise caution. For those of you planning activities for the weekend, please take note. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with showers is expected for the entire 3-day period, and breezy conditions is anticipated for Sunday. Let's take a look at the weather for the rest of the Caribbean. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered showers is expected for most of the islands of Lesser Antilles, with temperatures picking up to 31 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at what's happening on the international scene. Thunderstorm activity expected for the city of Caracas, partly cloudy skies for New York, Miami and London, and some beautiful sunny skies with relatively warm temperatures anticipated for Beijing, with maximum temperatures expected to pick up to 35 degrees Celsius. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:40 a.m. and will set at 6:40 p.m. Please remember, we are in hurricane season. Feel free to visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
To end the news, the headlines again. A former prison superintendent calls for greater investment in the reform of sex offenders. Prime Minister Skerrit shares with regional leaders how they could take advantage of the United Kingdom's exit from European Union. And a 1.4 million EC dollar facility to be opened this month to care for Dominica's disabled children. You can feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I'm Idona John Baptist. To all our viewers around the world, thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.